Here we go. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm Chase Sr. Thank you so much for joining us on the docket for today's show. Latest San Francisco 49ers draft buzz with the draft coming up the final Thursday of this month and some draft targets from Pro Football Focus. Before we get started, today's free show is made possible thanks to RexMD. Head to rexmd.com/chat, the #1 leader in men's telehealth. And let's tell you more about RexMD because, fellas, do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? Everybody has had those nights where you get a little bit too nervous, maybe had a little bit too much to drink. There's nothing worse than not being able to put the stick shift in drive when you need it the most. But have no fear. RexMD is here, spreading cheer even when you have a few too many beers. RexMD, FDA approved and the most trusted leader in men's telehealth. They have sponsored today's 49ers Report to help you always be prepared. RexMD has made it simple, easy, and cost-effective to help all the men out there last longer and feel swaggier in the bedroom. RexMD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis very easy because everything's online, even the prescription, and they deliver it discreetly to your door. No waiting rooms, no embarrassing trips to the doctor, no insurance and no copays. Take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off and only pay $2 per dosage. With our exclusive link, head to rexmd.com/chat for this limited time offer. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis now available to our listeners to get started. That is rexmd.com/chat. #1 leader in men's telehealth, 90% off, $2 per dosage, using that link right below me. All right, without further ado, let's talk some Niners draft here. Excited to dive into all of this, and when the NFL draft comes around, we'll be pushing out draft recaps. We'll be going live, so make sure you subscribe. Pro Football Focus with a recent mock draft, and I want to take a look at the 3 players they have going to San Francisco with their 3 picks in the 3rd round, 99, 101, and 102 as Niners draft targets. And pretty much like my recent mock draft, they're targeting some of these positions of need. So let's start at right tackle. Pick number 99, San Francisco with Pro Football Focus, going with Blake Freeland, the offensive tackle out of BYU. Throughout his career with BYU, played primarily and only solely left tackle, but has the ability to, I believe, play right tackle as well. And look, let's be honest here. After the season, Trent Williams did not immediately rule out retirement. So at some point, you have to plan to get his replacement, just like I believe San Francisco has to plan for a George Kittle replacement, one of which we're going to talk about on today's show, and start planning ahead for when those players either dissipate, go elsewhere, or the 49ers don't have a future with them. So with Blake Freeland here, 2022 season, pretty good for a BYU team that's always quality out west. 91 overall Pro Football Focus grade, a total of 860 snaps. In that workload, no sacks allowed, 3 hits, and only 4 quarterback hurries. And his Pro Football Focus numbers across the board, not just with the overall grade, pretty solid. So this could be a guy who potentially could unseat Colton McKivitz and Matt Pryor to be the starting right tackle for this team with Super Bowl aspirations in year 1. Overall grade, 91 flat. Pass blocking grade of 90.7, a zone grade of 90.5. Kyle Shanahan runs an outside zone scheme. And then a run blocking grade of 87.9. And his last 3 years, pretty large workload here for Freeland in 2022. The aforementioned 91 grade, but before that, 81.7, and prior to that, 81.6. What I'm most impressed by in a BYU offense that does throw the football a lot, 1 sack in a total of 2,188 snaps throughout his career for Freeland. Now, there are pros and cons to his game. Plus, number 1, gets off the line fast. So while he's not the twitchiest, greatest athlete, he does have that fast first step, which is really important on a pass set. Number 2, the hand placement. This comes down to the mechanics. You're going up against a really good edge rusher. You can stick him right in the chest there with firm hand placement. You can set the tone at the line of scrimmage. Plus, number 3, with that good hand placement, getting off the line out of your set very quickly. Good length to keep pass rushers away from him, and a good frame. But there's also some cons here. He's top heavy. So going back to the hand placement, he's not too agile with his lower half and not all that athletic as a quick-footed guy. He is more of a finesse player and not a mauler. So on social media, we see Trent Williams just taking cats into the grass time and time again. Freeland isn't really that type of guy, but can you get away with the finesse right tackle in Kyle Shanahan's offense when you can get him out in space? Yeah, you might be able to absorb that blow. I also like his speed. Not the greatest athlete, right? But he does have some pretty good speed. We talked about the big frame a little bit earlier. 6'8", 302 pounds, and ran a 4.98 40-yard dash. Everybody out there thinks that a sub-5 40-yard dash is easy. I'm telling you, it ain't that easy. Drop your 40-yard dashes down below in the comment section, by the way. And to do that at 6'8", 302, very, very notable. Make sure you subscribe to us here on the 49ers Report for more draft coverage on San Francisco. By the time a lot of you are watching this, I'm in Key West, but the content does not stop. The grind, the hustle, it's there from your boy, Bang Bang Niner Gang. Subscribe to us. A pick that I really, really like in terms of the player and the value and the fact that he played for one of the best defenses in college football last year, Sidney Brown to the Niners, round 3, 101. This guy, really solid frame, as we'll get to here in just a second. Good numbers as well. 60 tackles, 7 pass breakups, and 6 interceptions in 2022 as a safety. It's very difficult to do. And with the interception numbers, that always shows me that he plays with really good instincts. 1 forced fumble, 2 touchdowns as well. So I'm not saying that this guy is Ed Reed, but making a play on the football and taking it to the crib, that's what Sidney Brown can do. What to like about him? A 5-year starter with a total of 3,169 career snaps. He's a very graceful mover, 4.47 40-yard dash, and an absolute physical specimen who has maxed out his frame. He's chiseled, he's cut, 5'10", 211, not a lot of fat on that body. As for the cons, not a lot of them for a guy who you could get at the back end of the 3rd round, but an inconsistent tackler. And in today's NFL, in which offenses have spread concepts and they spread their playmakers out across the field, a lot of offenses, like San Francisco's, predicated on picking up yards after the catch. And if you can't bring an offensive player down, that could lead to a splash play to change the complexion of a game. He missed 15% or more of his tackles every year of his career. Is that coaching? Yeah, it might be a little bit, and San Francisco's done a good job of coaching defensive players within this organization. So I want to ask you this question. Will the Niners trade up or stay put? Will they trade up from 99 to get a player who they really like and maybe sacrifice one of those other 3rd-round picks? Or will they stay put? T for trade or S for stay? Lastly, a little bit earlier, I gave you a little bit of a tease, right? I said, if the Niners aren't confident that Trent Williams is going to be here for the long haul, and at some point they move off from him, you got to get his replacement. Could that guy be Blake Freeland? Yeah, maybe, although you're certainly going to have a big drop-off there because Trent Williams, arguably the best left tackle of all time. I also alluded to the fact that at some point you have to get George Kittle's replacement. Why not start developing him right now? Luke Schoonmaker, the tight end out of Michigan. I actually took him in a mock draft that I did here on the 49ers Report. A couple of reasons for that. He's very good as an all-around tight end. And you can't play for Kyle Shanahan if you can't block, and you can't play for Kyle Shanahan if you don't have pass-catching attributes. And Schoonmaker can do both of those things. As a diverse, dual-threat tight end, very much in the mold of a George Kittle. Now, Michigan last year did not air the football out a ton under Jim Harbaugh. A run-first offense, and they also had a young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, who they didn't trust fully to spin the rock all that often throughout a lot of these games. Also, Michigan blew out a lot of opponents, so they didn't pass the ball late. 35 catches, 400-plus yards for Schoonmaker last year. And I think that this is a player that you get your hands on. You enter him into this player development program, and you develop him over time with that size. There's frame to build with. There's talent and a foundation that you can build upon. A 4.63 40-yard dash at 6'5", 251 pounds. He might not be as nimble as George Kittle, but if you put him on the field, He can block for you in the run game. He can get to that second and third level block for you in the pass game. He can run some of those seam routes as well, like a George Kittle, and then get out to the numbers as well. He can block, quick to his routes. I like his footwork at that tight end spot. Another reminder, subscribe to us here on the 49ers Report. We've really been increasing a lot of our draft coverage, and it's only going to continue. And, of course, when the Niners make a signing, anytime they make a trade, a big move, we cover it. We go in-depth and longer, more so than any other YouTube channel out there. So with that, let's round out with this. Your confidence level in the Niners during the draft. This is a front office that I believe is drafted pretty well. Funny enough, they drafted better outside of the first round than in the first round. Scale it for me from 1 to 100. And for those of you who want to interact with me on social media, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, the same handle on both, at Chase_Senior. Unfortunately, I think Elon Musk is going to take my blue check away, but we're going to continue to spit fire on Twitter and Instagram as well. Give me a follow. I might be, at the time that you hit me up, Key West, nice sand, looking at some clear water, getting in a lot of runs, spending some time at the bar with the homies. But either way, won't stop me from interacting with all of you.